All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about a really powerful shift in thinking. You know, when people play dirty, our first instinct is to get louder, to fight back with more force. But what if the answer isn't to get louder, but to get sharper? This is all about moving past those gut emotional reactions and into a space of, well, strategic awareness and real mental strength.
This right here, this is our whole guide for today. It's such a simple but powerful idea. In those really complicated, messy situations, the real power, the real advantage, it doesn't go to the loudest person in the room. Nope. It goes to the one who can stay calm and actually think strategically.
And that brings us to this tough but really important contrast. You know, we're all raised to value having an honest heart, to be good people. But if we're being honest, the world often rewards something else, the aware mind. The sources we're looking at suggest that the most dangerous people aren't the ones yelling and screaming. They're the calm, polite ones, the ones who quietly get the power dynamics in the room and can just shift the ground under your feet with a smile.
Now, let's be super clear about this. This whole idea is not about turning you into someone who is cruel or ruthless. Not at all. It's about becoming untouchable. It's about understanding the game so you're not just a pawn on someone else's board. Because here's the thing, ignoring the game doesn't take you out of it. It just makes you a much, much easier piece to play.
So, how does someone even become vulnerable in the first place? Well, it often starts with something called the predictability trap. This really gets to the heart of why good, decent, honest people so often get played. And the answer? It's not their goodness. It's their patterns.
See, manipulative people don't really hunt for weakness. They hunt for patterns. They're looking for people who are consistent, predictable, totally transparent. They absolutely love it when you assume that everyone is playing by the same moral rule book. And they pay very close attention to who rushes to restore harmony because they know that person will probably sacrifice their own needs just to make the tension go away.
And this, right here, this gets to the very heart of it all. Your kindness is a strength. It's not a weakness. The real vulnerability, the real weak spot, is being completely readable. When someone knows exactly how you'll react, how many second chances you'll give, what button to push to make you back down, well, they stop guessing, and they start calculating.
This is where you can really see the massive mismatch. You might be operating from a playbook that's all about ethics, harmony, and playing by the rules. But what if the person across from you is using a completely different playbook? One that's about counting leverage, seeking opportunities, and exploiting the rules. You're not even in the same game. While you're busy thinking about what's fair, they're already 2 moves ahead.
Okay, so if being readable is the trap, then the way out is to learn how to become unreadable. This is all about shattering their mental map of you, and it starts by taking back control of the information you give away.
So here is the first, kind of hard truth. Over-explaining yourself makes you lose. It just does. The second you start justifying your actions, especially to someone who isn't actually trying to understand you, you hand over all your authority. Every single explanation you give them is just an invitation for judgment, and it's potential ammunition. Trust me, they're not listening to understand, they're listening for an angle.
Think about it like this. Real authority doesn't waste time justifying itself. It just decides. It acts. That constant need to explain everything, it's really just a subconscious request for their validation, and that just weakens your position every single time. You've got to start choosing your words like they're tools, not confessions.
Your words can always be twisted. They can be reframed, taken out of context, and used against you. But silence cannot be misquoted. It creates this vacuum, and it forces the other person to fill that space with their own assumptions, which honestly often tells you a lot more about them than it does about you. So this brings us to a really cool strategy: controlled inconsistency. Now, this is not about being erratic or emotional. No, this is a conscious, strategic choice to vary your responses. You know, be super available sometimes and then a little distant others. Engage really deeply one day and then withdraw calmly the next. This just shatters their predictive model of you, and it forces them to be way more cautious.
So, being unreadable, that's a defensive move. Now let's switch gears and talk about offense, how to actively control the exchange. This is about more than just protecting yourself. It's about learning how to actually reverse the pressure.
I want you to picture this. Someone tries to provoke you. They're looking for that quick, angry, emotional reaction. But instead of giving it to them, you just introduce a deliberate pause. You go silent. In that silence, you've just broken their feedback loop. They're left hanging, wondering, did I go too far? Was that not enough? And that little seed of doubt creeps in. And just like that, the pressure quietly shifts right back onto them. You have to remember, rushing almost always benefits the person who's applying the pressure. So by slowing things down, by controlling the pace, you control the entire dynamic. You stop letting them drag you along by their sense of urgency, and you start choosing exactly when and how you're going to engage. You know, sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to just walk away. A manipulator needs an audience. They need a stage. When you disengage, you take that stage away. Your absence creates this vacuum of uncertainty that is way more powerful than any argument you could ever make. It sends a clear signal. My peace of mind doesn't depend on your approval. And that indifference, that is the ultimate form of control.
So all of these strategies, all these tactics, they all lead to one final truth. The real endgame here isn't about winning some argument or proving that you're right. It's all about one thing: position.
And here it is. This is the ultimate goal. You're not trying to win or dominate other people. You're trying to master yourself. The real victory, the true win, is when people realize that playing games with you, it's just not worth the effort. You become an inefficient target, all because you don't react predictably.
When your reactions are measured, when your explanations are kept to a minimum, and when your engagement is selective, you become, for lack of a better word, expensive to manipulate. And eventually, people will just stop playing dirty with you, not because they've suddenly had a change of heart, but out of pure, calculated self-interest. It's just bad business for them. So I'll leave you with this to really think about. In your daily interactions, at work, at home, what's your primary goal? Is it to get approval, or is it to secure your position? Because really understanding that one little distinction, well, that's the very first step toward becoming mentally untouchable.